Are you standing in your power? What on earth do I mean about that? It sounds a bit woo, doesn't it? I don't know how you feel about woo things. You might be very like, yes, I'm into it. And you might be a bit like, not too sure about this, Rachel. So, what do I mean about power? Well, there are lots of different ways in which power influences our lives. Michel Foucault talks about there being almost this invisible web of power that we don't realize is there, but that we're locked into from the moment we are born. So, where we were born, who our parents were, or who brought us up, our education status, our income status, who our friends are, where we go to university or where we get our first job, the networks that we join, all of these things, we're in a kind of a mesh of influences, and those can affect how much power we have and how much power we don't. Questions are another source of power. Curiosity. How willing are we to find out about things? How willing are we to put ourselves forward? These are all sources of power. We can create power for ourselves. We can let other people take power from us. So there are some situations in which we feel powerless and some situations in which we feel powerful. And I think we all know which ones we want to be in. We want to be feeling powerful. We want to be feeling like, yes, we can do this. We are in control. We know what we're doing. We are able to stand there in our power and be confident in that. So what has this got to do with writing for your business? So I'm Rachel Extance, and I am an award-winning blogger and journalist. And for the past 20 years, I have been helping individuals and organisations to identify what is newsworthy about them and then share those stories with the people who need to hear them. And nowadays, I do that by helping consultants who want to write for their business and raise their visibility. So when I'm talking about standing in your power, this is about raising your visibility, and it's about sharing your expertise, your knowledge, your experience, your personality in order to stand in your power and raise your visibility. And hopefully, if you're watching that sounds good to you. So let me know in the comments if you're like, yes, I want to stand in my power. I want to be more visible. I want to be confident in what I'm delivering. And I want other people to be confident in me. And that's what this is all about, really. It's about showing people that you have something to offer and that you are the person to be trusted in order to deliver that. And the reason that I am talking about standing in your power today is because I've noticed with quite a lot of people that I work with, but also people that I don't work with, that when it comes to sharing things, mainly on social media, we're quite happy to share things which don't matter very much. So, we can talk about the issue of the day, if it's, what's your favorite biscuit, or even to say that you've been to a conference, which is a great thing to do. It's always good to show people where you've been, what you've been doing, who you've been working with. But then when it comes down to that, what Gary Vaynerchuk calls your jab, jab, right hook. When it comes down to that right hook, we kind of go, oh, I'm not sure about this. And we kind of shrink, don't we? We don't really want to do that. And what I see a lot of people doing is they see that somebody else has written about something or shared something or done a video, something, maybe even a TED talk. And they share that, which is great. But then they don't bring it back to them. So they talk about how amazing it is that Brené Brown says this thing, or that there's this amazing article in Inc. or Forbes. But then they leave it with the power being with Brené Brown or Inc. or Forbes. They don't leave the power being with them because they don't take it that next step forward. So you might be thinking, oh, actually, that's a good point. I shared something the other day, which was absolutely about something which I know about. And I didn't actually link it back to me. And I think we've all done this. I get a little bit annoyed when people sort of discount things or say, or, you know, or act surprised when I do something. And then I have to sit there and think to myself, well, did I tell them I could do that? Did they know that I have that experience or that I can do those things? And then I have to sit and look at what I've been putting out recently and think, well, actually, no, they maybe don't know about my years of experience. They probably don't know about situations I've been in. I probably haven't told that story recently. And so you have to remember that people need reintroducing to you all of the time. They're not going to go back and look through all of your past work for you. You have to meet them where they are and show when you're doing things that you actually have that knowledge, experience, expertise that you can share with them. So when you're looking at something that somebody else is doing and go, oh, that's brilliant, or oh yeah, I totally do that, that's a great way of sharing something that I do, you need to link it back to you so that you are standing in your power and you are showing people that, hey, you might be looking at this and going, that's something that my organization needs. We should be bringing somebody in to do a workshop on that, or we should be getting a keynote speaker on that, or we should be asking somebody to come in and work with our senior leadership team on that. And it's a way of bringing people into the conversation, but then you need to be talking about who you are, what you do, how you do it, because your way of doing it may well be different to the article that you've shared or the video you've shared, or the article or the video might give a high level view, and then you're able to go in and put more detail and nuance into that. So when you are sharing things, like newsjacking is a really great way of getting seen. And newsjacking means you turn on the radio in the morning and everyone is talking about the cost of living crisis, or hybrid working, or how to help people in a particular situation. Maybe there's been somebody has said something and suddenly everybody's talking about this because they're quite a well-known person or they have a different point of view. And then you are able to sort of say, hey, you've probably all seen, let's say, for instance, the Prime Minister. You know, you've probably all seen that Rishi Sunak is talking about this topic today. This is really important because ABC, or my take on this is ABC. And I work with people who let people know who you work with, just like I did at the start of this video. I said who I was. I said what my experience was. I said who I help. So you need to sort of set out your story. It only needs to be a sentence. It doesn't need to be very much, but you're saying that you have power, that you have knowledge, that you have authority. So you want to be doing that, and you want to be bringing people into what you are doing, how you help. So why you help, or why is this of interest to you? Why does it matter to you? Or what do you see people doing? Or maybe Rishi Sunak has said something and you believe completely the opposite. Don't be afraid of saying that. Don't be afraid of saying, well, this is one way of doing it. I do it this way. And that's perfectly okay. There is no one right way of doing anything, I don't think. I mean, I help people with writing, and I would never say to anybody, oh, no, you can only write it like this. You must have an intro that does this, and you must do it like that. Because everybody writes in different ways. Everybody learns in different ways. Everybody likes different examples or has different life experiences. So the fact that you have a way of doing it, which might not be the same as this person over here's way of doing it, that's not a problem or something to shy away from. That's something to stand up and say, well, I do it like this. And so when I'm talking about standing in your power, what I mean is you need to make sure that when you are sharing other people's work that directly relates to what you do bring it back to you. And also make sure if you're sharing a link, make that link back to your website. They don't need to go and read the Forbes article or watch that TED talk. They need to come to your website and read your article or see your video, because that's where you want people to be coming to. You want them to be coming to your website, your online home, and using the fact that there is a wider discussion to help people see what you do and how you help. So if you would like help to stand in your power, whether you are writing your website, you're writing blog articles, you are putting together videos, you are hosting a podcast, or you're going to be a guest on a podcast and you would like to stand in your power, then get in touch with me and I would be happy to help.